You're standing at the customer service counter at Target, holding a blender that started smoking the first time you plugged it in. You have the receipt. You're inside the return window. The whole transaction takes 9 seconds if you let it. You don't let it. You launch into a detailed explanation of what you were trying to make. You apologize for the inconvenience. You tell the 18-year-old behind the counter that you really did love the color. You promise you'll probably try a different model. You feel, for some reason, like you owe her a story. She didn't ask for one. She has 14 people in line behind you. She just wants to scan the box. I want to start there because I think most people, watching themselves do that, write it off as politeness. I've come to find that explanation a little too quick. You weren't being polite. You were doing something else, and the longer I watch this specific pattern in people, the more I think the popular vocabulary on it is missing what's actually happening. Here's the version I keep coming back to. I think you weren't talking to that cashier. You were talking past her, to someone who isn't even in the room. Someone who decided, a long time ago, that an unexplained action from you was a punishable one. You've been giving testimony to that ghost for so many years that you don't even notice you're doing it anymore. The cashier just happened to be standing in front of you. Stay with me, because this is the part I think nobody is naming. Picture this. A coworker sends you a Slack message at 4:47 on a Friday. Hey, quick one, did the Henderson file get sent? 3 words and a question mark. The file got sent. Tuesday. You know it got sent. You sent it. Watch what happens to your body in the next 8 seconds. A small heat behind your sternum. Your jaw tightens. You start typing. Yes, sent it Tuesday morning around 10. I CC'd Marcus too just to be safe. Let me know if it didn't land in your inbox. Happy to resend if anything looks off. Sorry for any confusion. You read it back. You add a smiley. You delete the smiley. You send. 6 pieces of information where one would have done. Yes, Tuesday, 4 words, done. But you couldn't send 4 words. Your body wouldn't let you. Because somewhere in you, yes, Tuesday sounded like the kind of sentence a person gets fired for. That's the part I want you to actually hear. The reflex isn't about the question. It's about a much older question your body keeps mistaking the new one for. Or this, your sister calls and asks if you're coming for Thanksgiving. The honest answer is I don't know yet. What you say is so I really want to come. Work has been crazy, I'm trying to figure out the flights. My partner's family is also asking about that weekend. I'll know more by next week. I'm so sorry for being flaky. I really do want to be there. You said you didn't know. You said it in 47 words. Or this, your partner asks why you took the long way home. There is no reason. You just felt like driving for an extra 10 minutes. You say, oh, there was traffic on the highway, plus I needed gas, and I thought I'd pick up milk, but then I forgot. You invent 3 reasons because I just felt like it sounded somehow like an answer that could get you in trouble. These are not communication skills. These are tiny appeasements. You have been making them 20 or 30 times a day since you were a kid. The exhaustion you feel after a normal social Tuesday isn't from the Tuesday. It's from running an old defense program in the background of every interaction against an opponent who isn't there. Here's the part I want to spend the most care on, because I think it's the heart of it. You learned this in a room where your unexplained actions weren't safe. Maybe a parent who got cold and stayed cold for 3 days when you didn't justify yourself fast enough. Maybe an adult who took your I don't know as evidence of something bad about you. Maybe a teacher who needed reasons for everything, and a kid who learned to manufacture reasons even when there weren't any. The specifics don't matter. What matters is that very early, you discovered that because I felt like it was a sentence that triggered a worse outcome, and that here are 6 reasons, including a flowchart, was a sentence that kept the room calm. I want to honor that. There is real dignity in how you built that skill. The kid who could explain herself out of a hard room survived the room. That isn't weakness. That's intelligence under pressure. But here is the thing nobody told you. The room ended. The cashier at Target is not that adult. The coworker on Slack is not that adult. Your sister calling about Thanksgiving is not that adult. The person waiting 9 seconds for yes, Tuesday is not auditing you for a verdict that hasn't been delivered in 20 years. You've been overpaying in syllables for crimes nobody is charging you with. Read that twice, because I think a lot of people who recognize themselves in this script have spent decades quietly tired and quietly confused about why they're so tired. And the explanation is right here, and almost nobody has ever pointed at it. There's something else I want to add, because this is where the cost gets sharper than the usual story. When you flood a small interaction with reasons, you think you're building a bridge so the other person can finally understand you. Most of the time, you're not. Most people don't even hear the extra information. They were already done at yes. The decent humans in your life don't need your paragraphs. They were never going to challenge you. But the small handful of people in your life who do like to dismantle other people's reasons, the in-law who weaponizes your sentences, the boss who reframes your no into a maybe, the friend who somehow always finds the loophole in your boundary, those people hear your paragraphs very clearly. You hand them 5 reasons, and they will pick reason 3 apart forever. You hand them a flowchart, and they will find the one cell that proves you wrong. The detailed explanation isn't disarming the threat. With a certain kind of person, it's loading the gun. So here's what I'd offer gently. The cure is not finding the perfect sequence of words. There isn't one. The cure is reclaiming the short sentence. Yes, Tuesday, I don't know yet, I just felt like driving, I'm not coming. The period belongs there. Let it sit. Let the silence hang for the 3 seconds your body desperately wants to fill. Notice that the silence doesn't kill anyone. Notice that the sky doesn't fall. The urge to fill that silence is not your kindness. It is the old reflex, begging for reassurance that the room is still safe. Let it beg this once. Let the period close the sentence like a door. The people who actually respect you do not need a deposition to accept your refusal. The only people who push back when you stop over-explaining are the ones who were quietly counting on your apology stack to get what they wanted from you. You will know who they are within a week. If somebody in your life keeps almost telling you something, and then translating it into something easier, keeps saying I'm fine, just tired, when their face is saying something else entirely, try not to take the polished version at face value. Try asking again, gently, once. You may be the first person in their life who ever made the original safe enough to come into the room. You'll probably catch yourself drafting another long explanation tomorrow. Not because you didn't understand any of this, because the body that learned to talk fast is older and more loyal than the part of you that just understood why. But I keep wondering what would happen if, just once this week, you let the period close the sentence and walked away from the silence with your hands empty. Who would you be in the first 10 minutes if you stopped explaining yourself to a room that ended a long time ago? The receipt is already in your hand. Let them be disappointed.